We all love the sound of money, and a $1,500 sign-on bonus sounds even better. That's right, Bellisio Foods of Jackson is offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus to new employees. Receive an extra $100 your first 6 weeks, then $400 after day 90, and $500 after day 180. Don't wait. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers today. That's BellisioFoods.com/careers. Come work for a company who truly values their employees. Come work for Bellisio Foods.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And of course, Jennifer here with, our good friends, I think from the fair, and we're going to get there in just a minute. But thank you for tuning in this morning. And we do have, I believe, our good friend Jeremiah at the Jackson County Fair this morning. And we're going to bring you some coverage from there. So good morning, good buddy.
Good morning.
Good morning. It looks like you're just all lounged out at the fair. That is not typical like what it should look like at the fair.
I know. We're just chilling this morning here, I guess. So how you doing there at the studio?
We're doing well. We're in the air conditioning, and there's not flies and all of that. So
Not too bad back here. The air's running back here in this building I'm in. It's pretty cool in here.
So I just have to say, Jeremiah, that when I was in 4-H, and that was a few years ago, we will say, the fair office was in like this godforsaken, horrible, like trailer thingy. And now it's like really nice. It's like a real building and everything.
It is really nice. I remember when I started coming up to the fair, it was in the trailer. And,
yeah.
I think this building here is only a couple years old. I think now. This used to be the sheep barn, I believe, a sheep goat barn, and they redid it to make this. So.
Well, it's really nice there because, and if you haven't, I'm telling our viewers, if you haven't been up to the fair lately and you go down by the livestock arena, the building where Jeremiah is sitting in, which is like kind of the fair office, but it has this really cool like overhang where in picnic tables, you can go there and eat. And there's all these, what is this breakfast bowl thing that everyone keeps talking about?
I saw a porterhouse out there eating one. I'm going to have to go get me one before I leave up here, guys. But it looks like it has a little bit of everything in it. But our appointment is here. Erin Dailey is here for you. And I'm going to trade seats, and I'll be back with you guys here shortly.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, we love to talk to Erin, and she is awesome. So we'll get her all sat down and switched out there with Jeremiah. And then he'll be back, I believe, the second part of the show to fill us in on some of the fun things that he's gotten to see and do at this year's fair and eat maybe and ride. Who knows? But our good friend Erin Dailey will be with us in just a second. Well, there she is. Howdy, neighbor.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine.
Well, very good. You have made it up to this far through the fair. So congrats.
Feels like it's been a little while. So I think I've been staying up here at the camper since about Wednesday. So I've been in and out, but I've had lots of evening stuff through since then and things. So it feels like it's been several days. But yes, we made it through Monday officially, and it's Tuesday, and we're getting ready for the sheep and goat show here today.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And James and I will be up in a little bit, I think, to hang out with you guys. So we look forward to that when we get out of the studio this morning. So now you've had not, well, shall we say, questionable weather up until this point, but it's looking good the rest of the week. So how have you survived so far?
Yeah, so yesterday was a little bit of a downpour most of the day. So it was pretty wet around here. It was some places it's kind of, there were places near the campers where you kind of had to have a little bit of a boat to get out or kind of wade through to get out, but it dried up pretty quick. So it's starting to dry up pretty quick, and our 4-H crew are resilient. So we had a rabbit show going on yesterday. I know some of the live feeds that we had going on, I saw on Facebook, people recording live. You could hardly hear because the rain was coming down so hard. But it dried up, and things are starting to dry up around here, and it was pretty steamy last night. So it started drying some of that up pretty quick, and things are weather's looking good for the rest of the week.
It is. Well, it would not be the Jackson County Fair unless it was 95 degrees and raining at some point. So we've done all that so far, I think.
Yes, we've gone from sweatshirt weather to sweatshirts to steaming to sweating and raincoats all in one day. We got
all in one day. That's Ohio for you. No, and I do want to give kudos out to the fair board and the folks there that manicure those grounds, because I can remember back in our day, we didn't have the pavement on the midway and the nice gravel and the very, very nice campsites that there are now and all of that. And this just goes back to show you how much work that the fair board and all the folks up there in charge of the grounds, how much work they've done and what a wonderful job that they do, because trust us, back in our day, right, Erin? It would not have dried up quickly. Let's put it that way.
For the drainage systems, they put a lot of work into drainage systems and things throughout the last several years, and that's really helped when we do have bad weather like that, to help make that to pass by quickly. So, and even yesterday, when they find something where there's a problem. Yesterday, I think they were having some issues in the rabbit barn, and there was some flooding. And right away, we had some livestock committee members and fair board members out there that were out there in the middle of it, digging a ditch to trench out the water to try to solve that problem quickly for them. So I think they've got that situated today, and everything's looking good.
Well, and again, that's just a testament to the caring and all the parents and all of the members up there putting on this fair and making it good for the kids, the junior fair, and also, of course, the senior fair as well. When you go up on the midway, and as I said, everything's paved now, and it's just so nice. You can get from ride to ride, and the food booths and all that. It's wonderful.
Yes, makes it a lot easier. It's not perfect, but it makes it a lot easier for people. Issues or makes it just a lot easier getting around, for sure.
That's exactly right. Okay, so do you want to describe this breakfast bowl that everyone keeps talking about? Because I need to know.
I haven't had the breakfast bowl. I guess I've been to this. I have not had this breakfast bowl.
Well, evidently it's a thing, and we need to get one.
Do you know anything about the breakfast bowl? No.
Fuzzy was eating one in here.
He was eating one in here. I'm gonna have to go check it out, I guess.
I am too.
I guess so. It's at one of those booths there around the show arena. So we'll have to check that out.
So yeah, we've got the 4-H and the FFA cattlemen's down here around the show arena. So we'll have to go check that out.
That's exactly right. So let's talk for a minute about, and again, I go back to when I was there which was a few years ago. We didn't have booths around the show arena and down in the junior fair area. We had to walk our rear ends up to the midway there. And so let's talk for a minute about some of the local booths that are there around the show arena. If people don't know, we would love to invite y'all to come down and support the local groups.
Yeah, so the Fair Board's kind of made that commitment to some of our local groups to help keep those groups down here around the barn area. It kind of accomplishes two things. Gives them, they're right down here in the action, but it also, one of the biggest reasons for that is because it helps those groups to be able to get people working. If you're a parent and you're working in the 4-H food booth or working in the FFA booth, it's a lot easier if your kids are here close and they can pop in and out, and there's a different kind of safety net down here when there's lots of those people they know around. And so that's been one of the nice things as those for those booths, easier to find workers and things like that because they're here close. So that makes it a lot easier. And of course, it's really nice for those down here to be able to get food without in between shows. A lot of times, you don't have a lot of time. In between shows to really go and get food. Lots of times you only have like a couple, you may only have a few minutes in between classes, and so you can go and grab something quickly. So that really works out for everybody. It works out for those working the booths, and it also works out for those here down attending the shows, because a lot of times, those shows move pretty quick. And so you may just, if you've only got a few minutes in between classes, you can go grab something quickly.
And I think that that's a great point. And I loved, one of the things about the Jackson County Fair, and I think other fairs in general, is, everybody's kid is everybody's kid during the week. So, like, maybe mom and dad have to go to work, but your friends' parents are there, and they're your mom and dad while your mom and dad's not there. And I think that when you can run to one of those booths and find an adult that or something like that, that helps out the kids as well, just because they have that support system down there for sure.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. I joke with my kids all the time about remember, there's lots of eyes out here. So
yeah,
with everybody, and it's really a big family, and I think that's the important thing. That's one of the neat things about 4-H in general and the fair, and so it really is a family. I mean, we say that, you hear that kind of cliche, but it really is. We think of this as our 4-H family, and you know the kids, you get to know them. They come up to you. It's really great for those kids, because I think it's twofold. We say that it takes a village and raising kids and things, but it's also, it gives those kids that adult support system. And, one of the things that we focus on in 4-H is having that opportunity to, have a relationship with a caring adult. And so these kids are surrounded by caring adults and have lots of people there, and not only are they seeing their peers and those older youth that they're looking up to, but they're also having those caring adults around that are there to help be that support system for those kids, not only this week, but throughout their lives. It's that support system that builds for a long time.
And you're exactly right. Like, I still see my 4-H advisors from when I was 9 years old, and to me, they're just as important as they were that day. And you have that bond with them, and you went to war, with them and that week and all of that, and they were there to support, and you appreciate that so much. So, that's one of the great things about 4-H. So what are some of the things that are going on this week? Do you have anything new to report, or any new buildings, anything like that there at the fair?
Well, as far as the buildings, we just had one of the newly renovated buildings that just actually got finished right in time before the fair. Was the 4-H building. So you probably remember when they built that building. I think that used to be a rabbit barn, if I remember right, up there. Wasn't there a rabbit barn up there?
It was the old horse barn.
There was a horse barn. Okay, wasn't there rabbits up there too, though, I'm thinking?
That was like up a little bit.
Up a little farther. Okay,
yeah.
Up a little. So yeah, there used to be some more barns up there, and then they built that 4-H building. And so they've used that building for booths, but it's also been a community building that's been rented out for, everything from weddings to graduation parties to family reunions. And so it, had a lot of wear and tear and was really in need of some repairs. And so they were able to find funds and got some help from different sources to be able to redo that building. And they did, I think, about $40,000 in repairs to that building. And so that has a new AC unit, and has a new roof, new walls in there, and the inside has a new ceiling instead of the drop ceiling that was there before. All the walls have been painted and redone. The bathrooms have been redone so that they have nice. They actually have nicer stall doors and look nice, and not just the old wooden doors that were kind of in there. So it looks very nice in there, and the booths are set up in there as well as vendors. So our 4-H theme this year is "There's no place like 4-H." So we have a lot of really great booths. They just got judged yesterday. I think it was the Totally Awesome Kids that won first place, and so those booths are up there. I think there's a Dorothy in one of the booths, and there's lots of some Wizard of Oz theme things, and I think there's one that shows the map of wherever 4-H is all over the world. And so that's really cool. There's, 4-H exists in more than 88 countries, and so they kind of highlighted that 4-H around the world, showing those other, took a little different take on it than the Wizard of Oz, and so that was a really cool thing as well. So our booths are up there displaying our 4-H kids and their projects, and then we have vendors up there as well in the 4-H building.
And well, number one, you can stop in and just stand in the air conditioning for a minute. So that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, it is.
But let's talk for a minute about, I don't think the folks that do the general projects get enough recognition. Can we talk about those for a minute? You don't have to take an animal to participate in 4-H or be part of the fair.
Right, yeah. So we actually gave our General Projects Awards last night. And what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of times when we go out and do 4-H recruitment, we'll hear, people saying, oh, well, I don't live on a farm or I don't have animals. And, while there are lots of small animals that a lot of our kids who do maybe live in town, even that people will take, there's actually more than 200 different projects that are available through 4-H. And so we have everything. There is actually a new project called 4-H Around the World, which is what that club actually highlighted in their booth. They kind of did a group project with that project and highlighted some of those things in their booth. And so that's exploring those things. There's projects on electricity. There's projects in welding. There's gardening. There's babysitting. There's scrapbooking. There's really endless amounts of projects. We have things like robotics. There's a new mental health project that's like exploring mental health. There is things that are just everywhere in natural resources. There's fishing. There's insects. Lots of different things with that. So there's just countless projects you can do. And even if you can't come up with something or you don't find something in there that fits your needs, which would be difficult, there's lots of different things in there. But they can even do a self-determined project that where you kind of create your own project and come up with something that interests you. And they kind of give some idea starters with that, or you can take it and run with it with something else. There's like a Native American artifacts idea starter or a reptiles and amphibians idea starter. But we have, there's woodworking. We had some great woodworking projects. I think we had a kid that made an air hockey table, like out of wood, like a wooden air hockey type table that was kind of similar to an air hockey table. And so made one of those. We had so many different neat projects. Cake decorating is a project that we had lots of kids taking cake decorating. Of course, there's sewing. There's several sewing projects as well as the food and nutrition projects. Kids learning about cooking, which a lot of times is sometimes a lost art. Just learning about proper ways of measuring food safety. And they've taken a lot of new takes on that. There's even like a fast food project where you kind of learn about the nutrition parts of fast food and making good choices and how to, kind of balance some of those. There's a fitness project that's like a health tracker where you're tracking your fitness. There's an athletics project. And then even like with the clothing projects, they have the construction projects. Like we've had a lot, like, you can make a skirt or a top or even up to a prom dress. There's lots of different things you can do. We had someone that made an outerwear, made a coat this year. But they can also do things that kind of are starting out where you just applique an outfit or you maybe embellish something. There's an embellish project where you just kind of decorate something to get people interested in that. So there's just tons of different projects that you can take. And so really finding that thing that's your niche is really the exciting thing about 4-H is that there's really something for everyone.
And I'm so glad that you said that. And that's the whole point is it's all inclusive and we just want kids to participate and it's just like kind of good, wholesome fun for them because I can remember, you can be rotten at the fair, but it's also just a week where you're up there and you meet people that you normally wouldn't meet or have had the opportunity to meet. And those friendships and bonds go on forever. I know some of my fair friends are still some of my best friends today.
For sure.
That sounds really cheesy, but it's absolutely 100% the truth.
It does. And I think the really neat thing about it too is that a lot of these kids, they may not go to the same schools. They don't,
right.
A lot of them don't go to the same schools or they don't have them. Maybe they're at school, they're involved in different things and they may not, see each other all the time at school, even if they do go to the same school. But you'll see these kids year after year and they show up at the fair or they show up, at those 4-H events and immediately it's like that bond just is back. They can go 9 months and not see each other and all of a sudden it's just like, that bond comes back. And So they really are those, those friendships. Like you said, it sounds cliche, but it's those friendships that last a lifetime. I see it in my own kids. I see it with my own friends, but I see it with kids all over the place. It's just so fun to see here. You see those kids, and look, and that they don't go to school together. They don't have it. This is their one thing that they do together, and so it's really fun to see those kids just, those running around, just having good, clean fun.
Absolutely. And, did we get into water fights and stupid stuff? Yep. But, and that was frowned upon. And now I understand why, but back then I didn't. But that's okay.
Yeah, and it's that mutual bond, that stress of show day, and trying to and it's the the family fun too. That it's sometimes it's the family bonding and those things that go on. And last night I was out just watching the practice ring. And I thought I think it was a brother or a set of brothers, and the animal had gotten away from him, and the older brother was kind of helping him and consoling, being so kind to him. And sometimes some those aren't so. Sometimes you see those sibling rivalries, not rivalries, but those you can have the best fights in the barn sometimes, and then sometimes also the best, just the best moments too. So because sometimes anything, when you're working hard at something and stress comes along with that, sometimes those high tensions can come too. But yeah, we see those moments happening all over the place, and they're not hard to find around here. And so
that's right.
Have to kind of take time to look, and there's lots of awesome stuff happening.
I can remember being 9 years old, and back then they didn't have clover buds or anything like that, so you had to wait until you could be in 4-H. And but I can remember being that like first year 4-H'er and being I thought I was something, and then you get there and you're so scared because you don't really know what you're doing. And I can remember the older kids, kind of helping out and whatever. And then as I got older, it's just organically, like it just happens where the older kids help out the younger kids and so on and so forth. And as you said, sometimes we can be a little bit rotten, but at the end of the day, it's the older kids and then the adults that are helping the younger ones, and then someday they'll grow up, and it's just this cycle of greatness that you watch over 9 years of someone's career in 4-H.
Yeah, it really is. I said again, they have practice every night in the ring. They'll set up times and have different animals for practice. And the other night I saw the night before the rabbit show, there was one of the 4-H'ers in there kind of giving instructions on rabbits and teaching some of the other kids, and was going in and just, helping kids she didn't even know, and helping kids out, learning, telling them all about rabbits. They're passionate about it. They want to hear about it. And she was 12. And so trying to, wanting to share that knowledge and share that passion with others. And so I think that it's definitely something that is ingrained in those kids, and it just kind of comes because they see it. They see those examples. And whether you're 9 years old and you're seeing that last year 4-H member, those junior fair board members, that you're seeing the example, they're always seeing those things. And there's a sign up in the barn that says, and I'm not gonna get it quoted right, but it says somewhere in this barn there's a kid who's watching you, and you owe it to them to give them to be your best. And we have that up in the barn, and just kind of as a reminder to those older kids. And most of the time it doesn't take much reminding, but just to remind them there's lots of little eyes watching them, whether it's the adults or the kids. And so they they're definitely have a chance to make an impact out there.
Absolutely. And I just think it's just so neat to watch that whole thing unfold.
It really is.
I remember it like it was yesterday, being the little kid that was scared. And then I remember being the older kid, trying to make sure the little kids weren't scared.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are some of the things that are coming up at the fair that you're looking forward to? I know we have sheep and goats today in the arena.
Yes, so we've got sheep and goats today. Tomorrow on Wednesday is our beef day, so we'll have beef throughout the whole day. There's lots of, we'll start out, we'll have showmanship in the morning, and then go on to the shows, and we'll have beef breeding We'll have our dairy beef feeders and our beef feeder calves. Then we'll have our dairy steers and our market steers. Those dairy steers are just in their second year of their project, so that project is kind of starting to move up and catch on there a little bit. So we're trying that out and seeing how that's worked. It's a very long, expensive project. So
could you explain that a little bit, Erin? Would you mind? Because I'm not familiar with it.
So the dairy steers, you remember we've always had the dairy beef feeders.
Yes.
The dairy steers allow those kids to take those dairy beef feeders home, and they can actually come back and bring it back as a steer, just like the market steers. So as far as meat quality, there's the Holstein steers. We taste just as good, and lots of people. There's some people who prefer those, and so they raise those dairy steers to be just like they would a market steer. So it's a 2-year kind of a 2-year project. It doesn't have to be a 2-year project. Some of those kids may purchase dairy feeders from some of the other kids who had them the first year, and they may purchase someone else's after the fair and then raise it that second year. So, but it makes it so that you can make that a 2-year project. But they eat a lot. So all of those steers eat a lot.
I'd say that's a huge commitment, Erin.
All of those steers, people don't realize it. Yeah, all of these animals in general eat a lot, but the steers particularly, they're a very very intense, very expensive product. It's definitely a commitment and an investment those kids are putting in. And a lot of people don't think. I mean, I even heard people talk about the turkeys. You wouldn't believe how much those turkeys they said eat. So yeah, these kids, it's a lot of time and effort. It's not just that, there's the time every day. I mean, they're spending days, walking, and I know even my own kids, you're running between ball practices and going to walk pigs, finding time, walking lambs in the morning and pigs in the evening, and trying to, fit it all in between practice and life and all the other things that go around. And these kids are just, they're running busy schedules, and they are, they put lots of time into this throughout the year. And so it's really exciting for them to be here this week and just be able to see all those that work hard, many months of hard work come to fruition this week. So they're, when they get stressed about that day in the show, you think about it, and it's hours and hours and
yes.
Months of the year, sometimes more than a year, putting work into that project, and they might be in the show ring for a total of 30 minutes with that animal. So at most, by the time they're in there so sometimes it may only be 10 minutes. So it's a lot. You have that and that work that goes into that. So they are excited for that day. And of course, that doesn't just happen just that 10 minutes show. They've been out there early this morning. I've heard them out there this morning with the lambs and the blowers going and washing and drying and getting them ready. And like I said, they were all here late last night finishing and getting things going. So it's just there's a lot of work that goes into it, and so it's exciting to kind of finally see them get to have that chance in the ring and find out how their animal compares. And so they'll have 2 parts, and that, but for the viewers out there, there's 2 parts of the show for most all of our shows. We have showmanship, and then we have the quality shows. So the showmanship is where they're judging the kid showing the animal, and so that's not anything. Maybe the only thing you're really judging with the animal is how that animal is, looks, if they're clean, if they're taking care of them, if how their hair looks, those kind of things. But then they're looking at how that kid shows the animal. So that's where we see those kids' showmanship skills shine. And those it just doesn't just happen. Sometimes there's definitely part of that goes in there on how that animal decides to act that day. And sometimes you can have an animal that's all along and then comes in there and just is not having a good day. And that happens sometimes, but you can, a lot of that comes as they've worked with those animals. The more that they've worked with them, the more you're going to see those kids shine in showmanship. And then the show, whether it's breeding or market, that's a quality show. And they're actually judging the animal itself. So at that point, they're not looking necessarily at how the kid shows the animal. They're looking at the quality of that animal. Now, how the kid shows the animal can also have a big impact on it because, there's things that they can do to, it's kind of, I always tell our kids, our 4-H kids, it's kind of like, a job interview, or it's putting your best foot forward. and highlighting those things that are your highest points, and maybe not touching on the not trying to highlight those high points, and trying to make your things that are your flaws not look as big. And that's kind of how it goes with the animals. So you're trying to set it up in a way, if you know where those animals' good points are, and they're learning about judging those animals and what the judge is looking for. And so, they know that if they stand a certain way, they're going to look a little better. If they're, if you're rubbing their belly, they're going to put their back, make their back a little straighter. So they, all those things kind of go along. The showmanship does kind of go along with the show to make that animal look its best. So everything from, making sure they're seeing the good side, maybe if it's a pig, that if they look better, if they walk faster or slower, or look better if they're moving, or so, it just kind of depends. Part of that is those kids learning to be able to show that animal in the best way they can, which I think is, it's a great life skill. Lots of, just like all of these things we do in 4-H, we're constantly helping these kids relate that to things that they're going to do later on in life. They're not going to probably, I don't think probably any of them, maybe some, but are going to be professional showmen in their careers. But they're going to take those skills and apply those to the workforce and the things that they've learned through that, and apply those to life, because that's what we're doing, is we're teaching those kids those life skills, and that's what it's all about.
And I would agree with that 100%. Public speaking is, I think, a huge, terrifying factor for a lot of people. You poll Americans, and they will tell you that public speaking is like their biggest fear. And, in 4-H, you start at 9 years old doing public speaking, because you're talking to that judge and they're interviewing you, and you're going through interviews before the fair, and you're, so all of these things you're learning year in and year out. And, it forces you to get outside your box a little bit. And I think that's fantastic. And as you said, you're learning to do things on the fly. When, you're riding your horse down the thing, and it's trying, for some reason, a fly hits it or something, and it's bucking, or the steer gets bit by a fly and it takes off. Like, you're having to learn how to deal with that and fix that on the fly. And, those are all such wonderful life skills that you learn there in 4-H or FFA, I think.
For sure. And I said, and you learn, about learn about how to win and lose gracefully.
Humility, for sure.
Gracefully. And, kind of learning that sometimes things aren't going to go your way. The cards may not fall the way you want to. But it's, it's more about how you handle those things, and, how you take those things and learn from them. And so, sometimes things, you think things are going to turn out better or a different way than you planned. And they're, but you have to learn to adjust. And so that's one of the biggest things that we help these kids with, is, learning to adjust.
Absolutely. And I love that. And that's, huge life skill. Huge. So
for sure.
Well, what are some of the other things that you would like our viewers to know, as we don't want to keep you all morning? We know you're very, very busy.
So like going through the week, too, we said we were talking the schedule. We got beef, and then Thursday, we also have the horse show Wednesday. I didn't mention that. So we have the horse show Wednesday evening, which was postponed last night because of the rain, but there was already a horse show scheduled tomorrow for horsemanship and showmanship, but they're going to go ahead and do contests tomorrow as well.
Okay.
And it was supposed to have been separated to Monday. So all the horse shows will be taking place tomorrow evening on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll have the poultry shows in the morning, and then we'll have the hog show later in the evening. And then Thursday evening, I don't know if anybody's giving you this tidbit on Thursday evening on the entertainment. I'm usually not on the up and up about all the different things, knowing what's going on in the Midway. But Thursday, there is, so I know we have Jess Adams up there opening, and she's been here at the fair before. And I know our fair board, and lots of our fair friends have become, got to know Jess and follow Jess. And so that's exciting, have her kind of feel like she's coming back home too. And then our evening show that night is Callista Clark. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Callista Clark. She's got some great songs on the radio that are featured. But why I think why I'm kind of think that she's pretty excited, I'm excited to have her here, is that she's a 4-H alum. She's actually 15 years old. I actually got to see her when she was 11, So I was at a 4-H event in Georgia. She was 11 years old and was performing with the Clovers and Company, and that's kind of like a show choir that Georgia 4-H does, a very elite statewide show, like a show choir group. And so she was performing with Clovers and Company, and I was like, wow, this girl's going to be something. So I've kind of followed her, and she actually has done several debuts over the year with National 4-H and has kind of been a spokesperson for 4-H with Jennifer Nettles. And so many people know that name. She's worked with Jennifer Nettles a lot doing some of those 4-H spokesman type activities. So she's going to be here Thursday night. So I think that's really exciting, and hoping to get a lot of our 4-Hers up there just to kind of support one of their own. And I think she's going to put on a great show. So she has, like I said, several songs you hear on the radio, and so we're really excited to have her here Thursday night as well.
Very good. And okay, do you have your Smash 'em Up Derby car ready for Saturday?
I do not. I don't have a Smash Derby car. I mean, I don't know. I try not to smash them up too much, But no, we might make it up to check out the Derby. We usually make it up to check out the Derby, and that usually running on fumes down here on the office end of it.
I'd say.
We usually, if we're kind of done with everything, we'll try to make it up to see a bit of the Derby. So it's always a fun night, and everybody comes out for the Derby on Saturday. So it's big Jackson County, and there, we know county fairs and derbies go hand in hand, and so you'll see everybody out on Saturday night here for the Derby. So lots of excitement going on.
There is, and it's the fair. There's food, there's rides, there's fun, but definitely get down and support the 4-H kids as well, and the FFA kids, and get down there and check out their projects and all of that, because they do work so hard. Some of those projects, as you said, go 2 years now, and that's a long time for kids to commit to one project. So they are amazing, and go down and give them the credit in which they deserve.
Definitely, yes, definitely. So come out, and I always tell our kids, talk to the people going through the barns, tell them about your projects, ask questions. If people ask questions, tell them all you know. Tell them about what you do with your project, why you do the things that you do, and I think that that's really important for those kids to get share those stories, and for the general public, because we all know that that's a huge issue in our world today, is that a lot of people don't realize where their food comes from, and so helping people understand where that food comes from and what it is that our kids are doing out here just really helps to have a better understanding of agriculture in general, and also just kind of the hard work that's going into these projects as well.
You're right. You mean, wait, food doesn't just come from the grocery store?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Which brings me to, if you're looking to fill your freezer, Friday at the sale at 3:00, you can register. You can still register as a buyer. So you can go on our website at jackson.osu.edu, click down where it says the 4-H, and then click on fair. You can see that. There's information there about how to register for a buyer, or give us a call at the extension office, and we can help you get registered. Just show up, and we can register you that night quickly as well. But there's information there about how much meat actually comes from those animals, and how you can ideas of how that breaks up into different cuts, whether it's hamburger, steaks, or what you're looking for. If you're looking for, buy a pig for pork, lamb, lots of different options. So they can get the beef, you can get the swine through the sale, the lambs, and the goats all can go for processing. So it's a great way, go in with a neighbor, fill your freezer up, support a great cause while you're at it.
Yeah, and that's so important, because that's kind of the whole point of the fair at the end, is those market projects get sold, and that's the culmination of those kids' hard work, and get out there and support them, and it's just very important that you do. So, well, Erin, thank you so much for talking with us this morning. We know you're super duper busy, and maybe we'll check in with you later in the week if that's okay.
All right, that sounds great. So, thanks,
all right,
Jennifer.
well, best of luck for the rest of the week. Make sure you get your rest, okay?
I'm trying to. Brought all the vitamins this week. I'm trying.
Good girl.
Tell from getting run down this week. I'm not sure how well it's working, but drinking lots of water and and probably a lot of caffeine, but we're making it through.
Hey,
So
that's all right. And the breakfast bowl.
I was in bed by 1 a.m. last night, so I was doing pretty good.
There you go. It's a goal. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. And like I said, we'll check in with you maybe later on in the week if that's okay.
Will do.
All
Thanks
right. All right, Miss Erin Dailey, of course, our 4-H extension. There's a really long term to her name, educator, something or other, but otherwise known as kind of the extension agent, if you remember that from years ago. So, all right, let's see.
We've got a little video here, Jen. We can watch that, and when we come back, Jeremiah's gonna tell us about what all happened last night, and he's got some winners and things like that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't wait. Let's
All
get
right.
to it.
My favorite part of 4-H is influencing the younger kids and just showing what agriculture is about.
My favorite part of 4-H is show day and hanging out with my friends.
My favorite part of 4-H is making memories and probably bonding with everyone around me.
My favorite part about 4-H is being here for the kids, showing them you're doing your stuff and you're helping them too. That's all it counts. Be active.
My favorite part of 4-H is taking animals.
My favorite thing about 4-H is definitely the people that I've met along the way and the relationships that I've built. It's definitely something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. Anytime that I need something from anyone, they're there at the drop of a hat with no questions asked.
My favorite part of 4-H is being able to take care of the animals and having quality time with the animals and seeing all my friends and family here at the barns and stuff.
My favorite part of 4-H is working hard with my animal to make money so I can pull a little bit part of it out now and buy stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna buy though. And the rest of it, the main part of it, is gonna go into my savings account until the future, what the future brings to me.
I love that. That's so cute. I like the last one's was very honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask Jeremiah in a second ask Jeremiah more about that last kid.
Okay. All right. Is he back with us, Jeremiah? Are you there? Hey.
Hey guys, I'm back.
All right. So tell us about this last kid.
Well, real quick, I'd like to shout out to James for putting all that footage together. I took that footage, and I appreciate him getting that all together with the music and everything. It turned out really nice.
It did.
I really, really enjoyed that. Okay. So the last kid, I didn't realize he's one of the Fair Board members' kids, and he was telling me he's one of all the kids you just saw. There was 8 kids there. All 8 kids are going to be featured for my 4-H profiles that I've done for the last couple of years. And the last one there, I think his name was Trent. He told me that he brought a steer this year because last year his friend brought a steer, and I quote, he said his friend made $3,000 on his steer, and he wants to roll in some of that dough.
I mean, out of the mouths of babes, man.
Right. Yeah. So you guys were talking about the breakfast bowl earlier. We got the menu here, guys.
Nice.
So it's the Jackson County 4-H Advisory Council food booth. They have breakfast. They got sausage gravy and 1 biscuit. It's $3. They got a sausage gravy and 2 biscuits for $4. They got a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich for $3. They got a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich for $3. And then down here they have, let's see, is it on this side? Oh no, it's the FFA booth that's got the bowl, guys.
Oh.
So they brought me, the FFA has the breakfast bowls. And they also have like sausage, egg, cheese, and then they also do stuff at lunch too. So there's a full lunch menu as well.
Nice. I mean,
you guys ought to check it out. Maybe you guys can get lunch when you're up here later.
Heck yeah, James is buying. He said so.
Well,
I was gonna
FFA
get
got
second
right.
breakfast and then maybe lunch right before we left.
Oh, you're going to eat breakfast twice and then lunch?
There's a mix of stuff. Get you a corn dog. Get you a fried bologna sandwich. All
I'll
kinds of
pass
different.
on the fried bologna, thank you. But I was interested in that pancake on a stick.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Pancake on a stick.
Pancake on a stick.
Okay.
One of the Fairport members was eating one of those when I was. So anyhow, I wanted to go over the schedule with you guys for today.
Yeah.
Tuesday, July 19th, admission $10. And like Erin was saying today in the show ring, you got sheep and goat. Right now, should be the Junior Fair Sheep Showmanship should be going on in the show arena. Erin, I think, has some children that is in that, and that's where she was going to after she left here. At 10:15 a.m. will be the open class and Junior Fair Sheep Breeding Show. At 10:30 a.m. will be the Junior Fair Market Lamb Show. At 1 p.m. will be the Junior Fair Dairy Goat Showmanship. And then at at 1:30 p.m. will be the Open and Junior Fair Dairy Goat Show. Later at 2 o'clock will be the 4-H demonstrations. I think those are usually held like up at the 4-H building. And that 4-H building, I got to go in there. I know Erin was talking about it earlier, and I got to go in there yesterday, and it is super nice. Like, it looks like a brand new building. Even on the outside, I know she didn't mention it, but the outside got an overhaul, and the inside,
It did.
all LED like lighting all the way through, and like it's real well lit, and it was real cool in there. I went in there to cool off and get out of the rain there after we talked yesterday. Rides open at 5 o'clock, and then this afternoon at 3 p.m. will be the Market Goat Showmanship. 4 o'clock will be the Market Goat Breeding Show, and then at 6 o'clock will be the Market Goat Show. And all those times, I always like to say, those times sometimes can be they set a time and they try to keep that time, but sometimes shows will run longer depending on the judging. So that's kind of a suggested time, I would say. And then tonight at 6 o'clock on the midway stage, Magic Man T.J. Hill will be doing a comedy and magic show. And he's going to be doing that from Tuesday, July 19th through Friday, July 22nd, guys. So if you like magic, that'll be going on this evening. And then down at the grandstand, as always, I know everybody loves the demo derby on Saturday, but this tonight is something that everybody always comes out for too. It's the Diamond J Rodeo. You got to come out and watch these guys try to ride those bulls, and it's always very entertaining to watch. When I'm down there, I've been down there in the past to take pictures. And I always get real nervous when I stand near the gates because I'm always worried one of those bulls are going to come over there and like kick the gate or something, So it's always a little nerve wracking.
Well, I think that Jeremiah should have to try to ride a bull tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got to get him in one of the, if we're going to put the radio rendezvous in the demo derby, then we're going to have to put Schaefer in the rodeo.
Schaefer in the rodeo. I mean, we could make you be one of those clowns.
Oh, that would be great.
You could go out and chase bulls around.
I feel like we have a lot of people in this office that would make good rodeo clowns.
So, yesterday I was talking about down in the show ring was the rabbits and turkeys, and then you had the general project ceremony last night. I've got results from that thanks to Telegram editor Pete Wilson. He sent those over late last night.
Awesome.
So it was a busy place down there in the Joe Morgan Memorial Livestock Arena. You had, for the rabbit show, Jennifer Meldick took home Grand Champion Market Rabbit, and Haley Ross earned the title of Reserve Champion Market Rabbit. In the showmanship competition, Daniel Baker won the title of Overall Rabbit Showman. In the rabbit breeding show, Daniel Baker also won the Best Overall Grand Champion honor while a Trinity Jones showed the best overall reserve champion in the Rabbits. On the turkey side of things, the Market Turkey Show, you had a Braden Brown came away with the grand champion honors, and a Addison Brown, I bet they're brother and sister since they have a similar name, or cousins, earned the title of reserve champion. And in the showmanship division, Daniel Baker, we just heard him in the Rabbits, won the title of overall Market Turkey Showman. And Daniel Baker was in the winner's circle again as he won the overall Breeding Turkey Show award. And then later in the evening, they, like I said, and you guys talked about it with Erin with the general projects. Your overall outstanding general project award went to Grant Regal. The overall, there he is. There's Mr. Regal. The overall clothing award went to Sure Murray. And then the overall food and nutrition award went to Jocelyn Regal. So that was your kind of rundown of results from Monday, July 18th.
That's awesome. And so James and I are going to head up here in a little bit, and I want to have somebody show me how to show a turkey. I'm obsessed with it.
I want to, James needs to get you recorded trying to flip that bird out so it gets its wings out.
Agreed.
Holding that turkey, Jen.
Tell Jen about that kid you had fluff the turkey up for your picture.
Oh, so one of my photos. So one of the profiles I did, you could tell this kid. His name was Jordan Kazi. He was in the Moloch contest. He was honorable mention. He was number 4 yesterday when I shared the results with you guys from that.
He was in the orange T-shirt in the video we showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bumped into him down in the in that barn. And I asked him. I said, "Do you care if I interview you for my 4-H profile?" And he said, "Sure." And he said, "Let me get one of my turkeys out." And he got it out, and we took a picture. And I asked him. I said, "Is this a guy turkey or a girl turkey?" And he goes, "It's a tom." And I said, he goes, "Hold on, I'll get him to fluff out." And he just turkey whispered or whatever, touched the turkey a certain way, and he just kind of fluffed out, and he just stood there, didn't move or anything, just stood there, and he stood behind him, and I took the picture, and you can tell this kid had really worked with his turkeys. He was actually grand champion last year, he was telling me.
Oh, very good.
He must not have had as much luck this year because I didn't see his name on the list, but he was a great kid to talk to.
Well, now we need to learn how to get the turkey fluffy and to do all the things with the turkey.
Right. So, I'm going to see if I can't step out and maybe find this breakfast bowl. Maybe I can call back in and you guys can see this.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I mean, we really need to see that.
Okay. So we'll take it back to the studio with you guys to chit chat, and then I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Jeremiah. And don't forget, a lot going on at the fair today. And we do appreciate everybody for calling in and doing all the things. James and I will be up there here in a little bit. See if we can interview some kids and just see some of the great things going on at this year's Jackson County Fair. Don't forget, $10 admission gets you in, gets you the rides, gets you all the grandstand entertainment. You don't have to pay anything extra for any of that stuff. Do have to buy your food, but that's okay. That's understandable.
I've got some photos here from the tractor pull, courtesy of Telegram sports editor Todd Compston.
You know what I think is so cool about this tractor pool is, so those things are actually called tractors, right? They're not like what you think of like Massey Ferguson or whatever tractor.
Yeah.
But some of them have jet engines and stuff in them. They're crazy.
Yeah. You can see this one has 2 engines in the front.
It is nuts.
And Todd told me that these aren't even the big ones.
No, that wouldn't be a big one. The big ones are look like monster trucks. Uh-huh. They are huge. And look at the tires and stuff, though, on those suckers. And
how much you think a spare tire for one of those things is gonna run you?
I'm guessing a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have an idea of what to guess for that.
I think the funniest thing here is if you look at the very front down toward the bottom,
Yeah.
It's got a little number on it. It's just a regular sheet of printer paper, like clipped onto it. Like that's going to survive.
And look at those little tiny tires on the front there as
Little
compared to the back.
Little Amish buggy tires on the back.
So, but yeah, those things are, it's amazing. And they just are unbelievable, like how they pull, and then they just have to work on them and all that stuff. And I mean, it's some seriously mechanical engineering stuff, but yeah, it's awesome.
I think Jeremiah is in line at the food booth. Let's check.
Is he really?
Did you find the breakfast bowl, bud?
Oh.
Doesn't sound like he's coming in real strong now.
Oh. Yeah, that signal out there is kind of a little bit weak. Well, don't forget, lots of things going on today at the fair. And you do have Magic Man TJ Hill tonight at 6 p.m. He'll be on the Midway stage, and also the Diamond J Rodeo tonight at the grandstand, 6 p.m. as well. And of course, the sheep and the goats are today. So lots and lots of stuff going on. If you wonder about the rides, I believe the rides open
at 5.
They'll be open from 5 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're into that kind of thing, as you can tell, I'm allergic to them. Thank you. Sorry about that. Just getting it out of the way now. Yeah, rides, not necessarily my thing the most, but I do like to go down and see all the fun animals. So that's a good part as well.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to ride those fair rides. They come apart so easy so they can move them to the next fair.
Exactly. If you can put it up within a few hours, no, thank you. But no, I mean, they're obviously very, very safe, and they do have to be inspected and all that before they're turned on and used. So don't worry about that. We're just joking. Mine's more not necessarily my fear. It's just that my stomach doesn't agree. It doesn't like things that spin around, if that makes any sense. All right. Well, so we lost Jeremiah, I think, in the food booth line.
Let's try to bring him back one more time.
Okay, we'll see.
Are you there, Jeremiah? No, he's connected. He must still be waiting in line.
Must be. I think he set his stuff down so he could go get food.
All right. We'll see if he pops back up here in a second.
Okay. All right. Well, do we have the weather forecast for your fair? I know that a lot of you are curious. Good news is I do believe that the rain is kind of moving out. And it will be a bit hotter for the rest of the week, but that's okay because if it's not pouring down the rain.
Yeah, it's not showing any more rain until the first of next week, but the temperatures are going to start climbing.
They are going to start climbing.
94 on Saturday.
94 on Saturday for the Bang 'em Up Derby, and always a lot of fun. You just have to have your car move faster and it'll get the wind going.
You think the demo derby car's got AC?
Yeah, it does. It's called No Windows.
Yeah, it's got sunroof.
Yeah. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, probably have to get out of here for the day so we can get up to the fair.
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Thanks to Erin Dailey for talking with us, giving us an update on all the cool things going on at the fair. And of course, Jeremiah for all of his coverage and all of that stuff. So we're going to head on up and hopefully we'll see you up at this year's Jackson County Fair here in a little bit. And if you see us out and about, stop by and say hi. All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. And we will be back tomorrow with our friends from the YMCA, I believe. All of that. Yes. And we're going to be talking about some of the fun things they have going on. So until then, have a great day, and we'll see you right back here in the morning. Bye-bye.
Bye.